All right, everybody, we are back with some more tournament action. And this week, I actually had the pleasure of casting for the first time the Maverick Tournament League, hosted by the one and only G'day Maverick. So shout out to Maverick for actually putting this together and taking the time, putting his blood, sweat, and tears into this tournament. So thank you very, very much. But we have some sweet tournament action. We're going to start off with round 2 and then work our way up through round 7, finally into the top 8. And last but not least, pretty excited to have an interview with the actual winner of the tournament. So Bry Guy did actually end up taking this one home, which you guys will see in the finals video as well. Each round and everything will have its own separate video. So I was also able to cast with, for the first time, Sparkling Iced Tea, and wow, was it a blast casting with him. Honestly, pretty cool dude. I can't speak enough to how awesome this community is so far. Everybody that I keep casting with is just so awesome, on point, wicked fun to cast with. So super excited I get to do that for the first time as well. And it's going to be Hyped versus Creepevee. Obviously, a lot of you probably know Hyped from Team Liquid. And then we have Creepevee, which is a relatively newcomer to the tournament, who performed pretty well this time around. So pretty excited to have this game in particular posted to YouTube. Shout out to Hyped and Creepevee for playing in the tournament, and Creepevee for also streaming later on in the tournament so we can get some quality footage. So without further ado, my name is Justin, also known as Shit Just Works, and let's get into round 2 of Maverick Tournament League. So we are going to be casting round 2, Hyped versus Creepevee.
Creepevee running, obviously, the Endure list. Everyone loves the Elise Kalista version.
No.
Playing.
Endure? Yeah. Oh, wow. I've never seen that deck before. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Playing Ezra Karma and Scouts. I called it. I said we will see a few Scout lists here and there. He's running a rather basic Scout list, so Genevieve, the highest cost card, and what I really like, he's not running any pilfered goods. I think we saw some Scout list played on ladder that played a bit more on the whole pilfered goods and black market merchant aspect of Village Water, which I hate, and I despise people who play that. No, never mind. I take that back, okay?
No, it's okay. I equally hate pilfered goods with you. It's totally fine. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, but a good friend of mine, who was playing like a list which played pilfered goods, and I don't want to offend him. But it is an awful card. Black market merchant maybe the worst offender, but pilfered goods has a special place in my heart.
Oh, jeez,
not a good one.
Really can't wait till Monday's patch notes to hopefully see what they do to the whole pilfer package there. So it does look like we are getting the Bannerman with the Omen Hawk and the Fury of the North Splash that we were talking about earlier from Hype. So see if we can get a good curve to start. It doesn't look like he has a 1-drop, so we're already off to a slower start than usual.
Yeah, so not getting a 1-drop is... Or like getting a 1-drop and then trading the 1-drop with the 1-drop. This is like this is awkward.
Yeah.
Not optimal. But there we see the Laurent. Obviously now that the poor bear is a 3-4 and not a 4-4 anymore, the stats just don't make it. And now you actually want a keyword. Ooh, Misfortune on 3. Okay.
Misfortune on
that I like.
Yeah, that is very good from Creepevee. And with Hype's hand, he doesn't have really a good way to deal with it for at least the next couple of turns. So I think he's going to get a really good amount of value off of this Misfortune right now.
Yeah. So the problem here for Hype is he kind of has to play either like the Protege. No, he can only play the Protege. You could have maybe used the Bright Steel Defender to protect your Eagle. But I don't know if that's a good play, to be honest. I don't know if you want to do that because now,
I think you keep the barrier specifically because you have a lot of challenger units. So at some point, you'll be able to get value with that barrier on future turns. So like right here, he can block this Misfortune and still be able to challenger it at some point with the other Lorette in his hand. So I think being able to do that possibly in the future might be good. The problem is he's going to be on 4 mana on an attack turn, so he can't do that next turn, which is why I say Creepevee is going to get a good amount of value out of this Misfortune over a couple turns. So it's going to feel really bad playing this Grizzled Ranger too.
Yeah. I mean, if this game goes late or like just gets delayed by a couple of turns, I think Hyped's list would definitely pull ahead just because he has Bannerman, Fury of the North.
It's a much higher curve deck. Yeah, like I think that the overall strength of his deck, especially with 3 back-to-back, like, oh wow.
So, actually, the Scouts list from Creepevee is actually a higher curve list because it runs Genevieve, which is 6 mana, and the Hype list stops at Queen, which is 5 mana.
Genevieve is kind of a weak higher drop unit, though. I mean, she's only a 4/4. I mean, her effect is great. And actually, what do you think about this card in general? Because we don't see her played too often, and she's definitely an interesting card.
Yeah, so I think right when the expansion released, right when all the cards were like playable, there was like the debate, okay, do I play Genevieve in a scout deck, or maybe do I just like play Cythria? And I think especially in the beginning, people actually thought Cythria was better, and they played Cythria over Genevieve. But I personally think that people come around to Genevieve nowadays, because Genevieve, while maybe not being as strong as Cythria overall, does have the challenger effect, which is super, super strong, especially if you can challenge twice in a turn. So most of the time, you're going to use Genevieve to just value trade 2 units away.
Yeah, I think that her potential, her swing potential in a single turn is a lot higher than Cythria's single turn potential. You know, Cythria, like you said, over a longer game might be more beneficial. But yeah, I think Genevieve is definitely really good. I'm curious to see how it does in this matchup. Like you said, Fury of the North is going to be something that poses a problem for Creepevee, but getting one out of Hyped already is probably really good for Creepevee right now.
Yeah. You definitely don't want to play this defensively either. You kind of want to remove Misfortune for that, because right now you don't have like a way of removing Misfortune. You might have to play back-to-back next turn just to remove Misfortune, because Misfortune is about to level. Right now, she's, I think, on 2 or 3 already. So I think with this attack, she's probably on 2, and then she's going to be on 3. So you run like into the problem that if he has a rally effect, the Misfortune is going to level, and if the Misfortune levels, you lose. 3 damage is insane.
Yeah.
You can't block anymore.
Yeah, especially with Hyped already at 9. Like, he's just taken so much damage over the course of these first 5 turns or so, and oof, okay. That, I don't know. Do you think that that was good on the part of Creepevee?
I mean,
he's getting... So I think he's just... Maybe he's thinking to himself, okay, I'm already putting a ton of pressure on him. Let's just put as much pressure as possible, as quickly as possible. And now it forces another unit to die. So this might actually be the correct play, but if... I don't know. I mean, having the 2 back-to-back in hand might actually allow Hype to turn this down a little, or turn this around a little bit. But like you said, he's just dead on the next turn that he can attack with Misfortune.
yeah, so the problem is, if Eevee has a second rally here, Hype is in trouble.
Yep.
So he's gonna do the play that I theorized last turn, which is actually it's a sad play. So you're using your back-to-back defensively in a deck where you probably wanted to use it offensively because it's your highest cost card, and otherwise you just want to run down your opponent with like Lucians and Sennas, which you haven't drawn, by the way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I mean, so now Hyped, I mean, he feels like he's in a better situation, but he's at 3 health, and that's just so incredibly low. I mean, another Misfortune coming down. That's game. I'm trying to think of what else. like you said, another Relentless Pursuit. If he's, or well, now that he doesn't have the Misfortune on the board, that will
Yep, that comes the Genevieve.
and that's gonna hurt a lot. So this is exactly what you're talking about with the Genevieve. This is like right here. You can see how strong she is on this single turn to kind of swing it.
Yep. So you're gonna get like a lot of value out of this Genevieve, especially if you can attack twice here, which will definitely mean one of your units is gonna get through, which means Hyped would be dead. So he's gonna have to get his strongest board. But drawing a 1/1 Omen Hawk right now is not what you want to do.
Well, I mean, he can back to back. You know, if Creepevee attacks with the Genevieve, he can block back to back, kill the Genevieve. I don't really think there's anything that Creepevee can do in response for 2 mana, and still has the back to back on potentially whatever the second unit is. Looks like he's going with the Bright Steel Protector.
Okay, so I actually agree with this because
Okay.
back to back would still mean that probably one of your units dies because I wouldn't imagine his opponent playing or challenging the 3/4. So one of the 2/1s, even with back to back, would have died, and then he would have had to block Quinn, and he would have had to block Valor, and I think overall, you probably would have lost that. Oh,
Ranger's Resolve is such a strong card.
yeah.
Like
I think-
one mana for that much of an advantage, and that might be game.
Oh no,
Wait.
no. So actually, you're kind of happy now on Hype's side that you draw the Omen Hawk because it's like just a cheap
Yeah.
rocket.
Yep. Yeah.
And you didn't want to drop the Bannerman there, definitely not. So
Well, now the Bannerman is still essentially useless, which is the problem, and
yeah,
I think most of So and Creepevee's entire board is going to live thanks to the Ranger's Resolve. Ranger's Resolve is just such an incredibly strong card. I still don't understand how it's 1-cost burst.
Yeah.
You can see there, especially with Scout, you're getting so much value off of only having Tough for just one turn.
yeah, it's insane. I don't know how to nerf it, but because 2 mana is a lot. And then again, you don't really use spell mana anyway, so
Yeah, I think 2 mana would probably be fine, to be honest with you.
yeah. Right now we just basically see the last turn because this is over. Yeah. And
Yeah.
there comes the concede. Nothing Hype could have done there really. Basically, his deck is really early curve and wants to go aggressive, and the problem was he was playing against another deck that also wants to go aggressive.
And it drew
But
better.
it did better.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
didn't get your Lucian, you didn't get your Senna. Although I think, in general, the MF Demacia deck is actually favored in that matchup just because you have the MF, which
Yeah.
allows you to get really good trades. That 1 damage on every unit if you attack that blocks is just really, really good.
Oh, and I agree 100%. Plus, he's playing the Ranger's Resolve, which Hyped is also not playing, which we just saw incredibly affect the game incredibly right there. And we were just talking about Genevieve, and that's exactly what she did. Was she created a final swing turn towards the end of the game, and it doesn't really matter if she's weaker on subsequent turns, whereas Cytherea would be stronger if you're just winning the game. Right? The game's over, so it doesn't matter how strong she is in the next turn. So Genevieve looking to be a pretty good decision in that deck.
Yeah, also, the problem is, I think Hype's deck was more, I don't know, with mid-range decks in mind, so he was like expecting to run into Demacia mid-range, which his deck would have been really good against, because Fury of the North is really good against Demacia mid-range. They are usually the ones that play the bigger units, so they don't expect smaller units to just value trade the big units.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't happen. Now we see Andrew again against Hyped's Fire Demacia list.
Which he does now have a 1-drop for. So I expect this game to
Yeah.
go a little bit better for Hype this time. However, the They Who Endure deck typically has a lot of smaller units, and Bark Beast's first turn is one of them and is not fun to see.
So I actually think you could attack here. Obviously, Hyped is thinking about the value that his Fleet Feather Tracker could generate him in combination with those War Chefs and the Bright Steel Protector.
Yeah.
But he also has to consider the value potential 1-mana 3/3 can give his opponent. So
Yeah.
would you attack here?
And I think I don't know, I think I would have attacked, because the problem is it's going to take 2 turns for Hype to be able to get a War Chefs and the Bright Steel down to theoretically attack with a 3-2 with Barrier going into the 3-3 Bark Beast. Like, that's the perfect situation. Now I just feel like it's just so easy for the They Who Endure deck to get Bark Beast off and get it up to a 3-3. And listen, I played a game against They Who Endure the other day where my opponent had 3 Bark Beasts on turn 1. Let me just say, it's not fun. Getting all 3-3 Bark Beasts is very hard to come back from, and that's definitely a card that you have to care about.
No, Bark Beast is one of my favorite cards. I love it. I love the whole sacrifice mechanic anyways.
Yeah.
So...
Now,
but it is kind of impressive.
Do you think that Bark Beast is better or Jagged Butcher?
Oh, which 1-mana 3/3 is better?
Yeah.
Okay, so in general, obviously Butcher, because
of the base stats.
No, how do I put it? Thunder is not a mechanic, guys. You have to realize Thunder is not a mechanic. You're never not gonna trigger it.
Yeah. At some point you'll be able to trigger it. Yeah. Bark Beast is it's, I don't know, it's still pretty easy to get off if it's in the right deck.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that Jagged Butcher has the potential to be played in a lot more different decks than Bark Beast does, whereas Bark Beast you have to kind of build it around it. So
yeah, that's exactly what I think as well.
So
but,
he keeps I don't know what he's checking here in the tournaments. So who do you think has the advantage in the They Who Endure versus this Bannerman matchup?
Oh, so the problem here is that again, Hype doesn't have Evolution, he doesn't have the Senna. Right now he has Queen on hand already, but he's kind of slow, you know. The problem right here is that the Endure deck can just poop out a lot of units and sacrifice them in the way of the bigger Demacia units.
I like the technical term. I like it. Yeah. Very technical.
Yeah. No, I actually think the Endureless is a bit favored here, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But if Hype can keep the tempo up and his opponent doesn't get the important cards like the Caretaker or the Elise, I think Hype can definitely win this. So it's not all said and done, but overall I think the Endure deck is a bit more impressive, especially because Hype is not playing some...
I do agree with you, and I think there's specific cards that you did mention Blighted Caretaker, and I think that if Cursed Keeper comes down, or with a Blighted Caretaker, or even Cursed Keeper with just basically anything that can kill it, there's going to be an issue because a 4/4 is going to be hard for the Bannermen to deal with unless they already have a wide board. And then obviously, like you said, the Blighted Caretaker, I mean, there's so many things with 2 health as we can already see on the board. That's going to completely wreck the field of Hype. So I definitely think They Who Endure is favored here. And as of right now, doesn't look like Hype is really too aggressive yet, but he does have the Grizzled Ranger and a Senna. We finally see the Senna, which we didn't see all game last game.
Yeah, we also have Quinn, so it's Grizzled Ranger into Quinn is something he could do.
Mm-hmm.
Probably something he wants to do. Grizzled Ranger is great to block, great to attack here, because attacking twice against someone who basically has a lot of 1/1s is really important, so he just doesn't totally negate your attack turn.
The only thing with Grizzled Ranger against They Who Endure is it always feels bad because your opponent is usually going to have Spiderlings like we see right now. And it just sucks because it's just going to get chump blocked, so you don't really get a lot of value of that first stage, quote unquote, of the Grizzled Ranger, the 3/1. But hey, you know, anything is something, I guess. It's still a really good card, even post nerf.
Yeah, definitely. Also, by the way, now his opponent attacking with 3/1, not with the spiders, kinda, I think, can give you the read that he probably has a Vile Feast in hand or second Elise, because what he wants to do here is definitely level up the Elise. If you leave your 2 spiders on board and you attack with 3/1, what you want is probably play the Elise spell, right? You want unit to die, and you just want to get those 2 spiders so you can flip your Elise. Vile Feast could be also... Okay, no Vile Feast, so...
Wow,
I
think Hype doesn't. He has a chance to kind of swing it back to his favor right here with this Quinn. It's really going to depend. Like if we see a Cursed Keeper come down, or next turn see a Blighted Caretaker, it's really going to hurt Hyped. But Hype's going to have a really good attack here.
Yeah, definitely. Now he knows that there is a second Elise in Eve's hand, so...
And he is preparing the chump blockers. And the way that Creepevee's playing leads me to believe that he might already have a They Who Endure in his hand. Just because we've seen so many tokens come out, so many Spiderlings. We see another Averrosion Sentry, the Bark Beast. He might be trying to play for an early They Who Endure. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't really think about when they play this matchup. Maybe some less experienced players, is that sometimes playing the They Who Endure as like a 7/7 or an 8/8 just as soon as you can will sometimes be enough pressure to really overcome your opponent.
Yeah, definitely. Would be devastating here, actually. The good thing is that Hype does have the Fury of the North in hand, so you might be able to actually trade off a 7/7, 8/8 Endure. Well, not an 8/8, but definitely a 7/7.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, so that means that if Creepevee is looking to do that, he's going to want to make sure that the They Who Endure is above that threshold, that it will be outside of the range of having a Fury of the North played on something. And I think pretty much everything in Hype's deck is, 3? Well, you do have a Senna, which is 4 attack. So he actually is probably not going to want to drop a They Who Endure until it's at 9, if he is looking to go that route.
Well, it depends. If you flip your Elise, actually, you can just drop the Endure, and then you can just...
Challenge, yeah.
Yeah, challenge away the big units, and then what's going to be left on Hype's board is a 1/1 Omen Hawk, and that definitely can't trade with an Endure.
Yeah, and it does look like Creepevee is kind of agreeing with you there. It looks like he's going for the level on the Elise. Now, I imagine he'll block at least one. It does look like Hyped is tapped out of mana, so he can't really remove any of the other Spiderlings. So I imagine, you just chump block one and you let the rest of the damage through to make sure you flip the Elise? Yep.
Yeah.
Looks like that's what he's doing. That is a lot of damage. So a little concerning, but you know.
So actually... if you really want to play around Fury of the North, you could have actually just let everything through, which is 3 more damage, but it would have almost guaranteed your Endure to get through. Because you could have challenged 4 units.
Oh, I get what you're saying. And actually, well, that wouldn't have been game, though, right? It would have been like, 8 damage or whatever, so it would have been like a 2-turn setup.
Yeah. But that most of the time, that means your opponent can't play a unit and Fury of the North in the same turn.
Yep.
Okay, now Kalista. Oh, this Kalista is definitely gonna flip.
Yeah, this is. Oof.
Flipped Elise on board and then playing Kalista is super oppressive because you can't do anything. It's gonna flip. And oof. If Eevee challenges right here, his Kalista is unlikely to die. He probably forces Hype to play Fury of the North here or something else to save his board because...
Ooh. So I feel like you save the Quinn, or are we not?
Yeah.
It just feels bad using... Like, this is the second game in a row where he's using this Fury of the Norths on nothing but being defensive. And it's just, like, not how it's supposed to be played in this deck.
Yeah. But... I mean, he is playing kind of a ranger deck, so... he is saving Private Quinn.
He's saving Private Quinn.
You kind of have to. Quinn actually is about to level next turn, so if you actually attack 2 times next turn with Quinn, she is about to level, which is a huge thing, which might be able to turn around the game, especially if your opponent doesn't have an Endure. So I think it was definitely the correct play to save Quinn here. Now... oh, wait, that's not an Endure. That's a 2/1. That's quite the opposite.
I would just like to make an observation here. I think we need to invest in helping Hype to get a second monitor. I just want to throw that out there.
That's sort of fun.
So there's the Cursed Keeper, which is definitely a little bit later than Creepevee probably wanted it. So it's not going to have as much of an impact. But it doesn't look like he actually had the They Who Endure, like I was mentioning earlier. It seems like he's kind of needing to stall out at this point. So Hyped might still be able to threaten here, and ooh, He's gonna have a way to trigger those cursed keepers though.
I don't think you really care if you're hyped. Because right now the only thing you care about is flipping that Quinn, getting a few attacks through, maybe killing the Kalista.
Well, yeah, and this Quinn will flip this turn.
Yeah, definitely. The only problem is you don't have a buff for Quinn, so Quinn might flip, but also might just die this turn. And then you just need to get through and actually find lethal, which actually is a thing right now because your opponent only has 2 blockers.
Yeah.
So
if
you have 2 challenge units.
Yeah, if he doesn't play anything else, he'll be in a good spot. Okay, so that's
Oof.
So I was all right. So actually, I feel like this is still a decent spot for like he's not going to get any damage through hyped, but the Quinn should survive now.
Well, he is going to get damage through, not lethal, but
yeah.
He is going to put his opponent on 2 this turn, which is quite good. So, I mean, you know what? Actually, I think we haven't seen an Endure so far from Eevee. If Eevee doesn't have the Endure now and doesn't draw it next turn, Hype might just win this.
Yeah, and it stinks because, I was talking earlier about him, potentially having the Dehu Endure early. It just goes to show you, maybe in this matchup, it's probably crucial for him to actually get that Dehu Endure down early because as of right now, he's just throwing a lot of small units out on the board that aren't really doing much. And again, I was mentioning earlier about the I always forget the name of that card. Cursed Keeper, the one that summons a 4/4. Like he's finally drawing them. He needed those early game to really be able to challenge the board, which is why Hype has such a big board right now. He's just now drawing them, and it doesn't seem like with playing what he just played, there's no way he has anything to trigger those Cursed Keepers in his hand. He might have he needs to top deck a Glimpse or something.
Yeah. So right now, Hype is ahead, but as always, you can just draw the Endure and then the game flips on its head. Especially if you, after that, top deck the Atrocity, or you might already have Atrocity in hand. So the problem is I haven't been keeping track of Eevee's hand right now, but I think there's a card in Eevee's hand that wasn't played for like the whole game. So that might just be an Atrocity.
Yeah, that's probably more likely at this point.
Which also means that on the Hype side, you kind of have to be afraid because if he does top deck the good old Endure, then
that's one of the reasons why I kind of there's the Blighted Carrot. That's a huge card for Creepevee right now. That is 100% going to get him back into this game and also on an attack turn. That's probably even better. All right, it's probably not better than They Who Endure.
No,
but it's still pretty good. All right.
Yeah. And it caretakes off your opponent's board.
Oh yeah. And Spiritus agrees. He feels the second monitor pain. I remember when I tried doing work at my real job on one monitor and then realized that was stupid.
Well, Spirit actually won a pretty prestigious tournament just last weekend.
Awesome.
So yeah. Now he should be able to afford a second monitor.
Wait, what did he win?
Do you know Tilted? Probably the biggest German LoR streamer.
Yes, I've heard of him.
Yeah. He had a subscriber tournament and Spirit won that.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, congrats, Spiritus. Definitely prestigious, Kappa. Very prestigious. Grand prize was $1,000, right? That's like 1,000 monitors you can buy. You're golden. You like my math skills?
Well, I mean, I think the grand prize was like a headset, but you can sell that and then you can buy a monitor.
Hey, there was a guy that turned a paperclip into like a boat or something on eBay. I don't know if you ever heard that story. So, I mean, you got this, Spiritus. I'm feeling like a curved UHD monitor, right?
Well, at the same time, we now have to see if Eevee can turn a Blighted Caretaker into a win right here, which I don't see, actually. I don't see it.
Yeah, I think he's still the blocks. So even though he's able to kind of stall out for another turn, it's just not quite enough. I mean, everything's surviving on Hype side of the field with just a little bit of health left over. It's gonna. I mean, it depends. Maybe he top decks something else, and that's. I was gonna say this earlier. That's one of the reasons why I think this deck needs some sort of adjustment come patch 1.4. They Who Endure, because there's just so many times where it just feels so bad to just lose to a top deck. Like this deck is the king of top decks. Oh, you think you're gonna win? I top deck a 2020. You think you're gonna win? I top deck an Atrocity, and it just feels really, to use your word, oppressive. I like that word, oppressive. To lose to They Who Endure like that.
So, on board right now though, he is dead.
Yeah.
I mean, you do have the option of like another top deck here would be a Vile Feast, removing the Queen or the Senna.
Yes. Yeah.
But we see the rally in the hand of Hyped. I think this is over.
Yeah, it's done. And there's in no world does Hype just pass or play something, and so there's no way for him to get a They Who Endure down. So I think you are correct. A Vile Feast will make Creepevee think he has a chance. He might be a winner, but not quite.
Yeah. Okay, interesting enough, Hyped just attacking, not going in for the scout attack, not giving his opponent the chance to maybe play an Endure that he top deck, because right now it's turn 9 and there's 3 spell mana on EV side. That is a turn where you can play Endure and Atrocity in the same turn.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, I think, very very smart heads up play by Hype, being able to play around that. And there's the surrender.
Gets the win, so it's 1-1 now. And it's Endure against, I don't know, what did we see what his opponent banned? I'm not sure.
I am not sure either.
It's either Deep or it's the Weimar. So it's either Weimar against Endure or Deep against Endure. What do you think is a better matchup? So what do you think is actually banned?
Weimar or Deep? I'm going to say he probably banned the Weimar because everybody hates that deck. Regardless of the matchups, I feel like it just gets banned. And so the Deep matchup versus They Who Endure. Ooh, that's tough. I'm trying to. All right, actually, let me look at the deck list of Hyped. Right, so Hyped is not playing Atrocity. He's playing Shipwreck. He's playing a Vengeance. So, and he's only playing one Vengeance. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and give the advantage to the They Who Endure deck. There's not a whole lot of removal on the side of Hype to really deal with an Atrocity or any big swing turn. So, yeah, and I've seen a lot of the Deep decks lately adding more Vengeance. I'm kind of surprised to see that Hype's only playing one here.
Yeah, me too. He's running 2 Withering Rails though, so maybe expecting a bit more aggro. We've seen a lot of Withering Rails cut actually. Mostly is running 1 or none. So him running 2 actually is probably the reason why he's only running 1 Vengeance. And we don't see a single... Oh my god, I forgot the name of the card. The 3 mana card, which draws you a sea monster. Oh. It's never played.
Wait, what is it? A 3/1 that draws you a sea monster?
No,
Jaw Hunters.
No, it's a 3 mana spell that draws you a sea monster.
Lure of the Depths. Lure of the Depths.
I always forget that card because I'm in the...
It's terrible.
It's
bad.
Camp.
Yeah, it's garbage.
Okay.
we're Lure of the Deep. Sorry, we stand corrected. Oh wait, is it Deep or Depths? Now I'm confused.
I don't know.
Oh god. And we're already getting the roping comments in chat now. It's happening. It has begun.
Yeah.
Oh man.
We see the battle of Spirit and Sumo in the chat. Depth or Deep. Anyways, it's not a good card, but actually it was played by a few people just in the last Maverick EU tournament. So some people actually think it's good. Hyped obviously doesn't think it's good, but he does think that Withering Veil has earned its spot back into the Deep deck. But yeah, as you said, probably kind of behind the Endure deck. I also think the Endure deck is quite a bit better in the matchup. And I would have also banned, obviously, Weimar. Not only because I hate it, but also because Will of Ionia and Deny are super strong cards against.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Will of Ionia feels so bad as an Endure player. It's like the one thing that you truly are worried about.
Yeah. And yeah, you're right. It's Deep versus Endure. Did you see
That's
No,
another
sure.
card. Sorry to interrupt you, but just Will of Ionia in general. That's another card that I've talked about a lot where it's like it seems super balanced for its cost, but it also seems super broken. Like, because it's just always useful in every situation. But, like, it shouldn't be changed. It's so weird how that works where it's that good of a card, but it's just, like, acceptable for it to be 4 mana and just do what it does.
It's kind of like in Hearthstone. The Thief class, the Rogue, has a similar card called Sap. It's
Yes.
a 2 mana card that just gives a minion back to your opponent's hand.
Yep.
And it works in a similar way, where it's just so insanely strong, but you can't change it because then it becomes trash. But it's just a strong card.
I think that's the sign of a perfectly balanced card. I think that's what that is. Like, that is perfection at its finest in a card game. So.
Yeah. I just think Ionia has too many of them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Ionia has... Whew, oh, yeah. Remember Deny at 3? Rip. Oh, God, that's terrible. Oh,
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Spiritus says Lure is so good. We're gonna have a fight on our hands here in a second.
Oh, no.
I feel like the argument... Here's my argument with Lure. Is that you're already... Like, it's just not getting you deeper fast enough as, like, Jettison would or Dredgers. And the cost reduction is, like, useless. You already have Nautilus. Like, what is one more mana cost reduction everything gonna do? Like, nothing.
Yeah. Wait. Actually, this goes out to everyone in the chat and especially to Spirit. I played Lure of the Depths in my Karma deep deck where I just want treasures, and that should basically convince you that's a bad card.
Yeah. All right, so we have a pretty good start here by Hyped. He does get the Dredgers first turn, which always feels good. He does have the Thorny Toad as well, which will be nice to kind of chump block a lot of these early attacks on the side of Creepevee. And it's interesting to note, too, that, again, he does not have the Cursed Keeper. I do think that, like, Cursed Keeper into... Is he playing Butcher? Yeah, he is playing 2 Ravenous Butcher. I mean, that's one of the strongest starting turns that you can have. And it looks like every time he's played the Endure deck versus Hype, he's missed that combo. So that's good for Hype, for sure.
Yeah. We see a lot of ways to get deep on Hyped sides. So... if Eve draws similarly to last game, I actually see Hype winning here.
Yeah, you might be right. Like I said, he's not drawing anything aggressive like last game. And, I keep kind of drilling this. Do you think Cursed Keeper is as good of a card in this deck as I do? Like, I honestly think it's like one of the cruxes of this deck. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's one of my favorite cards
in the game.
Shadow Isles. Yeah, in the game in Shadow Isles. Just dropping Bark Beast on 1, Curse Keeper into... Curse Keeper in 2, and then 3...
Blighted Caretaker. So many cards, I know. Just wait till they release more sets.
Oh, God, no. I always struggle with Caretaker. I always want to say Tearcaker.
Yeah, same thing. We know what you meant.
Yeah. But yeah, that's one of the strongest curves in the game.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. It's important to have it on tier 2.
And, I mean, we're seeing kind of like the crappy version of it right now in a Hapless Aristocrat with a Ravenous Butcher. Not quite what Creepevee wanted. He does get the early Callista. So, I mean, another important thing for the Endure deck is to level this Callista early. Especially depending on what it is that you have as your strongest unit. A lot of times you can have a Avarosian Sentry as your strongest unit if you do level the Callista early, which feels good to get some extra draw. That's not the case here. It'll likely be the Ravenous Butcher, so we'll see if Creepevee can get this level.
Yeah, so Callista on board is obviously strong. The problem here is you can't really level it. You don't have Elise on board like last time. And
Thresh.
Oh, yeah, Thresh is
a card.
Thresh is a card. And it's one of the best cards in the game.
Wow, you think Thresh is one of the best cards in the game, huh?
Oh yeah, I love Thresh. He's underrated.
I think scaling wise, he'll become the best as more champions get released. Just as nature of like higher cost champions getting released.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially champions that have effects that trigger on attack.
Oh yeah, yep.
Well, yeah, so we see actually Callista traded off here. That's weird.
Wow, this just looks terrible for Creepevee now. Like
Yeah.
really bad. Um, that's such a hit as far as like he only has 5 cards, so he's already behind in options to Hyped. And you can even tell too. Hype kind of just like had a sigh of relief there, like swinging over his opponent's hand. He's probably like, all right, I'm in a pretty good spot now. I just can't screw this up. Like I just have to play correctly, and I should be fine. And I think he's right to think that at this point.
Yeah. The problem here is that usually you want to drop Callista in your attack turn and not attack, or you actually want to have the 2-mana card that summons 3 1/1s with Ephemeral. So those die before Callista, and your Callista flips, which actually would have saved her from Thresh last turn. Just swinging out your Callista like that is actually super scary, because it kind of gives off the notion that you don't have anything better to do. You don't have better cards in hand.
Yeah.
And right now, you actually...
Okay.
There's an Endure.
Yeah, that was going to be the other thing I said, is maybe he just wanted to feed the Endure more. But I don't think, even if you had Endure, I don't think you just toss your Callista like that no matter what. And Sumo agrees in chat too. Like, I don't think you attack with Callista there. I don't see why he did that.
No, it's just 1/1 more on your Endure, which
is not a break
doesn't
point.
really matter.
Yeah, I don't think that's a break point for anything. I mean, like if it was 13-13 versus 14-14, all right, I can understand it. Now you can kill a Nautilus, but ooh, and he has the 1 vengeance already for it. Like that feels so bad. Oof. The 1 of, oh man. And I think honestly, like that's the game. All right, he does have glimpse, but I think having that vengeance on that first They Who Endure like that, with how far behind Creepevee is, I think is enough to really seal the deal here.
Yeah, so Hype also moused over his Nautilus right there, and we saw that he's 12 away from deep. He has the ability to draw 4, then toss another 2 with his Sea Monster.
Well, he's 11 now, right, from that draw, so
yeah,
9, 4, so he needs to do 5 more to get to deep. So he actually still is decently far away. So, you know, as much as he had a pretty good, strong opening with Dreg Dredgers and the Thorny Toad, he's kind of just sputtered out a little bit here. He's slowing down as far as getting to deep.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that Eve can't really attack here, because if he attacks and Hype just throws in his Thorny Toad, that's 2 more tossed.
Yep.
You don't want Hype to be able to toss more cards. Oh, that's an insane Withering Well. So maybe that's why you play that card again.
I mean,
we see him pointing with the finger there. That maybe he was talking to his chat. See, guys, that's
why I
put the card in the deck.
Yeah. I think you nailed it right there. And it's funny, when I was playing an Endure deck myself the other day, and I remember thinking to myself in a matchup versus another Shadow Isles deck, oh yeah, oh man, I hope they don't play Withering Whale right now. And then I thought to myself, nobody plays that card anymore. And as we can see here, Hyped has made the decision to play it and will get rewarded handsomely for it.
Yeah, so also interestingly enough, probably his Toads are not going to die here if he uses Withering Whale. His Thresh is going to level though, and a leveled Thresh is also 1 more card out of your deck.
Yes, yep. Oh, that little hidden bit of synergy there with Thresh and Deep. Yeah, is this just like an instant surrender? Is that what it's come to with this?
Oh, I don't know. A lot of your cards die here. So your Endure was already 10-10. So now it's 11-11, 12-12, 13-13, 14-14. It's a 15-15?
So can we top deck for the win here with an Atrocity and an Endure?
Well, not quite, actually. That's the problem. Your opponent still Hyped is on 18 HP, and once the Nautilus flips, you can actually block and Endure once, and then even then Atrocity doesn't kill you. Oof.
The only thing that Creepevee has going for him right now is that Vengeance is gone. So we do not have to worry about Vengeance currently. So I'm trying to think, what else does Hype have to prevent an Atrocity They Who Endure combo? And it is, it would only be one other. Sorry, well, there's the Vile Feast and the Withering Whale if he has exact lethal. And one Withering Wail is already played. So I don't think you play around that. You just try to play around a Vile Feast with your They Who Endure if you're trying to do that.
Yep. Also, interesting interaction with the eye here. Obviously, he sees the Nautilus getting pulled. Wait, no. Okay.
Yep, Maokai. See, this is what I was talking about earlier with Thresh. It feels so bad to pull the like smaller champions from 17.
Well, that's oh my god, that's a big injury. So you actually want to get an all those and you want to get deep. So you probably drop him here, you drop the dredges, and next turn you hope your salvage draws another salvage so you can get deep. But yeah, that feels bad. He saw when he clicked on the eye, he saw the Nautilus and thought, okay, yeah, that's it. I'm getting my Nautilus here.
Yeah.
And he didn't. He got the Maokai.
So this
Maokai.
Sorry, I was just gonna say this is exactly what I was talking about before, where the They Who Endure deck seems so far behind, and I swear to God, if he top decks like an Atrocity and wins the game because of it, it just proves how something needs to be done about this deck.
Yeah. Also, Sumo saying in chat, the Naughty Riptide. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
So that's why you hope to get Nautilus.
Yep.
Riptide is another way to deal with an Endure. It's basically like a Vengeance, especially if you have Maokai on board, because once you flip Maokai, that Endure that's now in the deck of your opponent is actually just gone.
Yeah. And if he is able to toss more cards very quickly here, he has a much higher probability of being able to draw into that second Nautilus.
Yeah. Right now, though, the Endure plus the Atrocity is actually lethal. So you actually need to top deck and.
Okay, he went deep.
Correct play.
Not Nautilus. Okay. He's gonna swap the Toad and the Nautilus, right?
Well, now you have to. But does it really matter? You're dead anyway, right? If he has Atrocity, you're dead either way. So I don't think it actually matters here.
So actually, no, wait. Actually, wouldn't because you died to Atrocity. Wouldn't you still block with the Toad to give yourself a higher chance to draw another Riptide?
I mean, you could also toss a Riptide, right?
Well, no, you can't. You can't toss a champion. Yeah.
You can only toss Riptides that you.
So I think it's correct to not block with Nautilus here, and that gives you more outs that you can draw. Or all right. Well, now hold on. There's 2 outs right now. There's 2 Nautilus. So right now there's 2 outs plus Vile Feast and Withering Wail. Oh, never mind. All right, now he has no outs. Now, I was gonna say maybe block with Nautilus so that way you still have Vile Feast and Withering Wail as outs, but I don't think that's right either. So
okay,
I think he's just dead.
So the thing Hype wanted to do here is block with the Nautilus and then basically use his Devourer to kill off the Endure, but now
he can't play it.
He can't do it. He can't do it, yeah, because the Endure now is on 8 health, which is 1 more health than the Devourer, which means Devourer actually can't kill the Endure.
God, that feels bad. I wonder if Creepevee did that specifically for that reason. I mean, he'll... Oh, no, and actually, no, it'll stay at 8 health, so he's actually never going to be able to kill it. Well, no, he will be able to open attack next turn, and he does have lifesteal, so... I mean, I don't think he's out of this completely yet.
Oh, no, definitely not. So... Eevee has to play the Vengeance, and right now... Oh, wait. Was that a correct play?
I knew it. See? What did I tell you with the freaking top decks? Oh, my God. Oh.
So I actually think he just gave Eevee the free pass to play that Vengeance. Because...
from playing... because he played... yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I that's why I hate that deck, because you feel like you're in control the entire game. You're like, I've played this well. Yep. I'm up. I have more life than my opponent. I have everything going for me, but I can't predict my opponent drawing 2 cards in a row that win the game. Like, it's just so bad. Oh, man. Well, that's a 2-1 victory by Hyped. And actually, hold on, guys. I just got this as a gift, so we're gonna give Hyped a little victory song here.
Hyped a victory song.
There we go. We got it. Did you hear it or no?
No, I didn't.
Oh, all right. They probably heard it on stream though. It's the Final Fantasy victory fanfare from Final Fantasy VII. Yep. Oh yeah. We're doing it. We're doing it. And yet, Sumo, yes. I agree 100%. It's Will of Ionia times 10. And
I don't agree.
And no, Hype. Whoa, don't do that to me. Or sorry, not Hype. All right. Yeah, Hype did lose. Jesus. You're supposed to correct me. You're supposed to correct me on these things, Sparkling. Jesus, what's wrong with you? That was a victory song for Creepevee, not Hype.
Okay. Victory for Creepevee, but I am gonna correct you on the other thing though. It's not a Will of Ionia on steroids. It's a Steel Tempest on steroids.
Okay, because it's stunning. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, because I think the effect is more comparable to Well, no, because technically, I don't know. I guess that's semantics, right? It's either like technically they both have a stun effect, but the effect of Will of Ionia, its effectiveness overall is, I think, more in line with what Riptide actually does. If that even makes sense, I don't know. But it's Riptide, very, very good card, and man, I'll tell you, it's very interesting too to have a card game that that card is so interesting to me. It's so terrible, it's so bad, but in certain instances, it's like one of the best cards in the game, right? Like it's so crazy to me that there's even a card like that exists, and again, I think that's attributed to just good card design overall. I love that.
Yeah, it's a card in a way where you wouldn't put it in your deck intentionally, but if you get it because you already have an autism board, it's one of the best cards you can draw. That's a weird thing. You wouldn't put it in the deck, but you're super happy to draw it.
All right, and that'll do it. That is round 2 with Creepevee taking the win over Hyped. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video where we have round 3. Looking forward to it. But until then, everybody stay healthy, stay positive. I hope shit just works for you. Peace out.